A very good morning to all my students. I hope you all are preparing well, doing well. Day before it, tomorrow, that is on 7th May, you have the main first paper of science stream, that is chemistry. So I hope you are doing well and don't worry about the exam, no anxiety, no stress at all. So today my session is basically on discussion of the few tips and a strategy for the board exam. And also some students are continuously asking and they have the doubts of the portion deleted in chemistry syllabus in this session for the term 2 exam. So already we have discussed many times still, but again, I'm just revising that the syllabus, whatever the portion has been deleted in your curriculum for the term 2 exam. Okay. So first, I will just give few tips before starting the deleted portion. So what are the tips which I wanted to give to you for before the exam? The first tip which I want to give you, all of you reach on time on the day of the exam 1 hour at least before the exam commencement. So all of you try to reach because the first day you are going, so you have to see the route. And when you reach earlier, you will be relaxed in spite of reaching the late because the 10 o'clock your entry will start in the examination hall and 10 o'clock you'll get the answer sheet and from 10 to 10:15 you have to fill the OMR sheet, answer sheet, the details of the your answer sheet details. 10:15 you are getting the question paper and 10:15 to 10:30 the reading time, which is the most important thing which I want to tell you. As soon as you are getting the question paper, and that is a reading time start at 10:15. So 10:15 and to 10:30 is a very important time because you have to utilize that reading time and choose the correct option of the internal choice questions. During that time, you have to think which internal choice question I have to do. And when you go through all the questions, you will think which questions are easier for you, which questions you are feeling a little bit tougher or tricky, so that you can identify the types of questions. So reading time, you have to utilize very sincerely and rigorously. Now, the few tips, try to remain calm in the examination hall and read the question properly. Utilize the reading time to choose the correct option of internal choice questions. And this is the most important point, which just I have discussed with you also. Attempt the questions in a sequence manner in the order of best you know. I mean that when you are attempting the question, you have to do in a sequence pattern, either from question number 1 to last question or from last question to previous question. Any pattern you can follow. But my suggestion, because this time you have the 3 sections, that is section A, section B, and section C. So already you have given the paper, you have seen the sample paper, there is a 3 section, section A where is the 2 markers questions, and the section B where is the 3 markers question, and section C that is a 5 markers question. All these questions are basically in chemistry, whether it's 2 markers, 3 markers, or 5 markers. Basically, each question is 1 marker question. If suppose in question number 3, there is a 3 part, so that is also 1, 1, 1. Except numerical, all the questions, most of the questions are 1 marker question. And the section C, which is the passage-based question. So this time you can start in the order manner, that is to section A, section B, and section C. Okay, and always you follow the sequence. Suppose if you're question 1, then you go for the 2, go for the 3. If suppose you're not very much confident of section A, the 2 question number 2, so leave some space. Because when the examiner is checking, they are just going through the serial wise. Although if you're not confident of that question, don't attempt at that time. You just attempt the question number 1, question number 3, and leave the space of the question number 2, and so that the section A can be completed. So whenever you're attempting any section, try to do all the questions all together. And the most important thing, when you're attempting the question number two, and question number two has two subpart, part one and part two, attempt at one place. Suppose in the question number two, you are confident of question number one, but you are not able to recall the answer of the question number two, you leave the space. What happens sometimes, the students are doing question number two, first part in one page, and then they are doing the question number two, second part in the last page, or after 4 or 5 pages, or after the last question. So don't do like this. For one question, all the subparts do together. If you are not confident of any one of the part, leave the space over there. And after each part, you leave space at least 2 lines. What is the reason for leaving the 2 to 4 lines? And at least 2 lines you just leave. What is the reason for leaving the 2 lines? There's a 2 reason. One, it's look neat and clean. And when examiner is checking, they are not facing the problem. And the second most important reason I'm telling to leave the 2 lines, sometimes what happens when you're writing the answer, okay, but when you're revising and you are thinking, okay, some points too can be added, or you want to change some line, or you want to add some line. So there is a sufficient space so that you can add few sentences even also, or something you want to write, you can add over there. So this is the reason you have to leave the 2 lines. If you are adding some lines, then fine. If you are not adding, still it is looking neat and clean. So that is the main reason. Okay, now coming to the next point, attempt, utilize the reading time to choose the correct answer, attempt the questions in a sequence manner. Do not panic if some questions are tricky or difficult for you, and attempt at the end. Suppose if you are during the reading time, you are feeling that the question number section A, all 3 questions are tough for you. So don't start the section A. You start the section B. In section B, also you are thinking the first question you're not confident, but the third question you're confident. Start from the third part. Because as soon as you start your answer, the writing, the questions which are tougher for you or you are not able to recall, it can be recalled after certain time. So in the question in which you are confident, you start from that only. But if you're thinking all questions, you are confident and few questions a little bit biasness, then you follow the order. But if you're not confident, very ticky or panic, do not panic at all. Because if the question is tough for you, tough for everyone. So always start the question in which you are confident, and the question which you are not thinking that you're not able to recall, attempt definitely at the end. Anything which you are able to write, but you have to attempt all the questions, all the subparts. Do not leave a single part of the any question. So do not leave any question and do each and every question with all subparts. Number your answer properly and do all the part of the same question together. Leave the space for the pending part. Maintain speed if paper is lengthy, and although already I told, leave 2 to 4 lines after completing each part, and the reason also I've discussed. Underline the important points like DD transition, absence of d orbitals, NR pair effect by running hand. No need to underline with a black pen or blue pen or pencil, whatever the pen you are using. By running hand, just underline the key points. Illustration, or try to give the illustration. Give examples, structure, graph, resonance, etc. if possible. What I mean by this 12 point, suppose if you're writing any answer, suppose that why phenol is, or why we acetic acid is stronger acid than phenol. Why acetic acid is stronger acid than phenol. In this, if you are writing the answer, but still you have to draw the resonance, whether it's asked or not. Illustrations are very important because when examiner is checking or your answer is not appropriate, your language is not very appropriate, but you have drawn the resonating structure of its conjugate base, that is phenoxide, and then you are writing due to resonance or due to resonance or like this. So it is clear here only why this is stronger acid than, why acetic acid stronger acid than phenol, because its conjugate base is much more stronger than phenoxide due to resonance. So you just try to draw the structure, draw the resonating structure wherever you can. It is not, the examiner is not going to ask, or in the question it will be not mentioned, but you have to draw it. So wherever the graph you can draw the resonating structure, give examples, that is important for you. Suppose any one more example I can discuss with you regarding this illustrations point. Suppose if the examiner has asked you why primary amine boiling point is higher than secondary amine. So you can show this hydrogen bond, that is, there is a two hydrogens, so there is a formation of two hydrogen rather than this. So if more hydrogen bond, that is strong intermolecular force, high boiling point. Even if it is asked you which one is more basic, you can show, because there is a 1 plus I effect and there's a 2R group, that is a more plus I effect. And as plus I effect increases, basic character increases. So this illustration, you just give it so that if you are writing an answer, because the examiner is not going to read all the detailed answer. If you are writing over here, means it's understood, the concept is clear, and you have written the wrong answer, right answer, sorry, in the paragraph even. So sometimes what happens, the students write a very big paragraph, but they are not underlining the important point. They are not mentioning the structure or drawing the resonating structure. So what happens, sometimes it is very difficult to read the answer, a long answer by the examiner, and it may be skipped up also. Or your marks will be deducted. Or if your language framing is wrong and you are not able to express, but if you draw the structure, and you can get the marks. So this is the reason always I tell in the class, even also whenever I discuss any topic, draw or write. And okay, some important points always you have to write. That is what? Inductive effect, wherever it is required. Resonance effect, plus R, minus R. Even inductive effect, plus I effect, minus I effect, how the acidic character, basic character changes by plus I effect, minus I effect, by resonance effect. Okay, hyperconjugation, stability, etc. you have to mention. Now the next point is distinguish test. Write the distinguish test of the organic function group in a tabular manner with observation, and if possible, write the reaction also. As for one example, I can discuss with you, just like suppose the question is coming to how to distinguish between ethanol and propanol. So just make a tabular form, write the structure of ethanol and propanol, and test. By which test you want to distinguish, that is iodoform test. Write the name of the test. Then you write observation. Okay, this will give positive test by forming yellow PPT. This will give negative test. There's a no yellow PPT is formed or crystalline PPT form. And then write the reaction. And during the reaction, you just write the reagent. Suppose you are writing NaOI, and this CH3 convert into iodoform, that is CHI3 and plus, and this CHO combined with ONO, that means HCOONA. Okay, so you have to write the name of the test and observation, very, very important. And which one is giving positive test, which one is giving, which one is not giving, that is very important. But only if you're writing iodoform test, you will not get the marks, because we are not mentioning which compound will give iodoform test and what color are you getting, what observation is there. The two things are very important, name of the test and which one is giving positive test and what is observation. And if you write the reaction, if you know the reaction, definitely you have to write the reaction. That also impact very full. And during, if you know the reaction, writing the reaction below Iodoform, this is the iodoform. Below this also you can mention yellow PPT. So like this is the distinguished test, and always in board exam, 2 markers distinguished test come in the exam. Next important point, try to finish the paper 15 to 20 minutes earlier and revise answer at the end. Because sometimes what happens, you think that I've written everything correctly, but when you're revising and that time you're thinking, okay, some lines or some important points can be added, so you can add it also. So always try to finish your paper early. So you have to just make the target even when you are giving the mock test at the home also, at that time also. That is what is exam time, that is 10 o'clock to 12:30. That already I've told you, just sit at 10 o'clock, and before 10 o'clock, you just have your breakfast by 9 o'clock. So you have to maintain your body clock before the exam, at least 10 days, 20 days before. Already I have told in the class, even also, just make your body clock according to this exam, so that early in the morning you can wake up 8 o'clock, and then at 9 o'clock you will take your breakfast, and then after 10 o'clock you have to sit for the mock test paper, and 10:15 reading time you start, 10:30 writing time you start, and 12:30 you just find out. And then you have to think how much time you have taken for revision at the last moment, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, because that is also very, very important. So today and tomorrow, if you have the time, you can do one paper, mock test paper. And during the revision time, this is very, very important, numericals. In numericals, what you have to do, just a minute, wait. Okay. In numericals, you have to do one thing more, that is, okay. In numericals, few something important points I want to discuss for the numericals, because the numericals part come of 3 markers, sometimes 2 markers, but mostly it comes of the 3 marks question. When you are attempting the numericals, first you write all the datas, what are given in the question. Suppose key question is coming that the first order reaction, so you just maintain what is the key value is given, what is the initial concentration is given, like that. All data you write, and then after you have to write the formula. Okay, although you are not getting the marks for writing all the data, but still you write. And then after you start the numerical, the first point of the numerical is formula. You have to write the formula, because for that you get the half marks. Then you have to put all the values. For that also you're getting some. Okay, and then you calculation part. And then after you write, you write answer with unit. For answer, you're getting half marks. For unit, you are getting half marks. Okay, suppose sometime what happens, your formula is right, but value are wrong, still you get half mark. So that is the reason Wallace used to say, write the formula, then put the values, and then calculation. Any part is wrong, you will get sub marks, because there's a step marking. Unit is very, very important. Sometimes what happens, students leave the unit, and when you leave the unit, the half marks will definitely deduct. Okay, sometimes what happens, numerical has 2 parts. Suppose in 3 markers numericals, there's a 2 parts. Okay, so first part, there is, suppose calculate limiting, molar conductivity, and the second part, or first part, suppose calculate conductivity. Okay, calculate conductivity, and the second part is molar conductivity. Okay, so these 2 parts will be, marks will be divided into 2 parts. So both, if you are calculating the value of K, you have to again mention the unit here also, and mention unit here also. So here also you can get half marks, here also you can get half marks. If it is right, you get half of each, otherwise you will lose the half of marks. to whenever you are revising the at end also you just check unit. Basically, I'm focusing for the unit. Sometimes what happens, you write everything, your correction, your calculation is correct, your answer is correct, but sometimes you forget the unit. Sometimes we have to find out the E naught cell or E cell, and you are writing the correct answer, but you have not mentioning your unit volt, V. You have left the V or by mistaken or by ignoring that one, your half mark will be unnecessary, losing your half mark. So that is the reason always we stress few points, which is very, very important for everyone. And this last moment, I want to say, go through already you have gone through the NCERT book. So thoroughly revise again and do each and every questions, which already I told, do all in text question, example question, and exercise question. Don't discuss your preparation with your friends. Take proper sleep and relax before one day of the exam. And the last points which I want to tell to you, that is revise at the last moment. Means suppose day after tomorrow, morning time, 7 on 7th May, you are thinking that what portion I have to revise at the last moment, morning time. So during the last moment, you have to revise the few things which are cramming portion, just like a colloids examples and application, which is mentioned in the tabular form, salt, gel, etc. Because that sometimes we forget to. At the revision at the last moment is a colloids example and applications. You just go to the numerical formulae, organic name reactions, conversion. Okay, I will just come to the organic part also. In organic, what are the important? But last moment, you have to revise organic name reactions, distinguished test. Okay. IUPAC name, it's not necessary. Coordination, okay. And the most important thing, that is some definition which we always ignore, but you can lose the marks. So definition should be correct. It is not necessary. It should be exactly NCERT language, but the meaning should be correct. So you have to revise the definition. You have to write the correct definitions like Rawls law, Henry's law, Kohlraasch law, order of reactions, molecularity of reactions, conductivity, molar conductivity, limiting molar conductivity, osmotic pressure, osmosis. One thing also I want to give the tips about the organic chemistry part. In organic chemistry, at this last moment, what you have to revise. In organic chemistry, what type of questions come already? I told that is the IUPAC name. And for this, you don't waste so much time. Whatever you have studied in class 11 and revise in class 12, that you go through priority order and few small rules, very concise rules. Second, name reactions. In this chapter, basically aldehyde, ketone, and amines, there's a lots of name reactions. Just you remember all the name reactions. Name reactions mean in exam, it is coming, right? The short notes. Short notes means it's not only in notes. You have to write the chemical equation, either general or by giving any one of the example. So name reaction, which is very, very important. Third, reasoning you stuck or sometimes you do the mistake in which you have to write the proper reasoning in spite of plus I effect, minus R effect, stability of conjugate base or conjugate acid, whatever the correct reasoning you have to mention. Or sometimes if the SN1, SN1 and SN2 is not there, okay. Just a minute, wait, okay. So reasoning part, you have to give the proper reasoning. Now, the next part is mechanism. And mechanism, there is a very few mechanism, that is only nucleophilic addition reaction of carbonyl compound, in which it will be given by, in exam, it will come not directly by giving any examples, and you have to give the mechanism of that. Okay, and conversions, it's not very tough, but sometimes students feel very the anxiety, and they think that I'm not able to do the conversion. Now, this time you don't waste the time for the conversion, for doing the conversion. Whatever you have revised, definitely you can able to write in the exam, because it's coming 2 markers or 3 markers conversion. Conversion come in two forms. One is direct conversion, means suppose it is coming ethanoic acid to propanoic acid. Okay, it is coming ethanoic acid to propanoic acid. This is called a direct conversion. Okay, and sometime it is coming in the form of word conversion. A compound A, which molecular formula is this, react to form B, C, D, identify and write the reactions involved. That is also a part of conversion, which is called word conversion. And already I discussed, one is a part of the distinguished test, and how to attempt the distinguished part, that I told, and the sixth part is a distinguished test, and how to do the distinguished already I have discussed with you. And complete the equation also. Okay, so it's just like a complete the equation or identify the reagent, just like a compound A, suppose given, identify the reagent. B, or sometime B, some reagent is given, identify to C, like this. Okay, so this is the complete the equation. Okay, so I hope it will help out to you for preparing at the last moment. So faith, believe in yourself and have faith in God. Surely you'll meet the challenge. Okay, all the very best, and thank you so much. So